Hey everybody, welcome to this week's themes video. I'm going to cover three themes that I think are outstanding and important in Twelfth Night. That first theme is one we're familiar with, Petrarchanism. I want to talk about how this play satirizes Petrarchanism. It seems to take great joy in making fun of some of the traditional Petrarchan conventions. The first example of a Petrarchan person, a Petrarchan lover in this play is Orsino, and we encounter this in the very first lines of the play. I'm going to take a few moments to read these opening lines for us, and I want you to be listening for and looking for those Petrarchan moments. If music be the food of love, play on. Give me excess of it, that surfeiting the appetite may sicken and so die. That strain again, it had a dying fall. Oh, it came o'er my ear like the sweet sound that breathes upon a bank of violets, stealing and giving odor. Enough, no more. 'Tis not so sweet now as it was before. O spirit of love, how quick and fresh art thou, that notwithstanding thy capacity receiveth as the sea. Naught enters there, of what validity and pitch soe'er, but falls into abatement and low price even in a minute. So full of shapes is fancy that it alone is high fantastical. At this point, Orsino gets interrupted by one of his men. Will you go hunt, my lord? What, Curio? The hart. Why, so I do, the noblest that I have. Oh, when mine eyes did see Olivia first, methought she purged the air of pestilence. That instant was I turned into a hart, and my desires, like fell and cruel hounds, e'er since pursue me. Okay, I think that you can probably hear some of those Petrarchan conventions in this opening speech. We see Orsino kind of vacillating between wanting to overindulge in his love, right? Like, give me excess of it. That surfeiting the appetite may sicken and so die, to turning away from his love. Enough, no more. 'Tis not so sweet now as it was before. So we have that kind of typical emotional emo vacillation of the Petrarchan lover. We also have some of those Petrarchan conventions about hunting. Curio is making fun of Orsino here about hunting the hart, hunting the deer, which we see used as a metaphor in many Petrarchan sonnets. And then Orsino turns himself into the hart, being pursued by cruel hounds. And of course, the pun on heart and one's heart is also present there. So at the beginning of this play, it seems like the play is inviting us to kind of laugh at Orsino as this over-the-top, excessive Petrarchan lover. But we also know that later on, Orsino asks Viola, who is in disguise as Cesario, to go to his love, Olivia, and to woo her on his behalf. This scene also presents a scene of Petrarchan wooing, but in a very different form. First of all, our wooer is now Viola Cesario, someone who presents as a man, but is also a woman. So that kind of changes the dynamic. And someone who is ultimately more effective than Orsino ever is. If the archetypal Petrarchan sonneteer always fails, Viola Cesario succeeds. Olivia falls deeply in love with Viola Cesario. So as you're going through this scene, Act 1, Scene 5, these lines, and here's the minute mark where you can watch this in the Globe production if you want to just fast forward to that moment. Look for the way Viola Cesario talks about memorizing her text. You look for the way Olivia critiques the blason. She kind of makes fun of that at these lines. And look for ways that you can compare Orsino's text that Viola prepares, and then Viola Cesario's own improvised sonnet text. She improvises her own kind of appeal to Olivia. So a question I have for you for this week's discussion post is, why do you think Olivia is ultimately wooed by Viola Cesario and not Orsino? What's the difference? Is there a difference between their attempted wooing styles? Like, what separates Orsino's words from Viola Cesario's words? Or what separates Orsino's person from Viola Cesario's person? There are a lot of interesting questions to address. Okay, I'm going to pause here and move on to the next theme.